Hey everyone, this is Survival Odell with Southern Appalachian Survival. Today, in this episode, we're going to be talking a little bit about fire making. So let's get started. So in a survival situation, fire can be very useful. Potentially, it could even save your life. Some of the many uses for fire would be just simply to keep you warm. You can boil water, cooking food, signaling, using the smoke as a signal, or just a huge fire. Comfort when you're out in the woods, safety to keep critters and animals away from your camp at night, and then just light in general. So right now we're going to look at the 3 ingredients to make a fire. The first is oxygen. Oxygen is readily available. We breathe it every day. I'm breathing it right now, so generally we don't have to worry about getting oxygen for our fire. The next would be ignition, and I have a few different forms of ignition here. We have the basic lighter, which is instant flame. It's very efficient when trying to make a fire because you have fire to start the fire. The next one would be some form of flint and steel. This is just your basic sparking method to get your fire started. And you rub the steel on the flint, it makes a spark, and hopefully start your fire. The next would be your common matches and striker from the matchbox. And these are also very good because you can use them as an instant flame to start your fire. The last method would be some sort of friction method, commonly seen in bow drilling, and you can look forward to another lesson in the future about that. The next and last ingredient would be fuel, and fuel can come in different forms, starting with your tinder. Your tinder is your first form of fuel. It's generally the smallest, thinnest, most fibrous, or whatever you can get that it will burst into a flame the quickest. This is going to start your fire once you put your ignition source to it. Okay. The next up would be kindling. Kindling is small stuff. My general rule is pencil lead or smaller. And so you can see we have really tiny sticks, really dry, which will go next, and that will ignite after the tinder. The last one would be fuel, and I've broken my fuel up into the medium size and the large size, just to help organize when I go to start building my fire. And this stuff is the hardest to burn, or it takes the longest to get started, which is why you put it on last. So the next step would be building your structure. The one that we're going to look at right now is the teepee structure. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to take your kindling and you're going to build a teepee with it. So break it if you have to. It's good to get a few kind of thicker pieces and almost stick them in the dirt if you can, and that helps you get some of that structure going. And then once you get some of that structure going, you can start layering on some of the other sticks. So as you can see, I'm just laying these on the structure, and I'm leaving some air gaps right now. It's important to note that you want to leave a gap in the front so that you can stick your tinder bundle in there when you're ready to go. So once you finish layering your kindling on here, notice how I've left this nice gap for me to slip my tinder bundle in there whenever I'm ready to light. That's very useful for getting oxygen into the tinder bundle, which will help it burst and help catch successfully up through the tower. So the next step would be to add your next step of fuel, and like I told you earlier, I've broken mine up into kind of some medium and some large stuff to help keep that gradual thickness going throughout the teepee. So for that, we're just gonna do the same method. Just start leaning stuff all over the existing structure, being careful not to knock it down in the process, because that can happen. Still keeping the opening available for me to slip my little tinder bundle in there whenever it's ready to go. As you can see, having your piles ready to go helps when you go to start make your structure, because you can just continue to grab from the pile rather than having to go and fetch more wood. It's already here for you, so do your prep work beforehand and your fire making process will go much smoother. This is what your structure should look like once you're done prepping and putting all of your tinder, kindling, and fuel in the structure. As you can see, you've got your tinder bundle right there in the middle, nice gap, so that you can easily reach in there without collapsing your structure. Successively, it goes up in size from very skinny to fatter and fatter until you get to the biggest stuff on the very outside.